guess my first experience being published was, it was a smaller publication. It was a literary magazine that people in the English department were putting out just for the campus. It was a magazine I just looked up as I was thinking about this question, called The Wake, and I saw my old writing in there, and it was a short poem in 2 parts called This Accomplished Brain, about being in love with my girlfriend at the time. And I guess the next page was her poem, and it was like a very interesting memory to kind of come back to. I think I wrote 3 or 4 more pieces for The Wake, and I think they organized some readings, and that was fun to be a part of that side of the community. I think that it's made me more attuned to audience. And I don't think that that necessarily feeds into the creative process, but I think it definitely informs which journals I'll send stuff to. Because I want to send them a story that is close to the topics they're interested in. I wanted to say that the other way it's informed my work is that I've done more blogging, more public readings, and more writing groups, because some of the journals you send to are like kind of casting a lottery ticket, and so I think there's no reason to wait for that to get your work out there. I think some professional pressures want you to place in a good journal, but in terms of being a writer and sharing your work, there's already ways to do that by yourself. So whether it's through a blog, or through a reading space, or through a writing group. I was thinking about this in particular because I brought an essay to a writing group I go to for 3 or 4 weeks, and the essay has not seen the light of day yet, but I found that I've had so many conversations with my friends in the writing group about it that it's sort of half doing that work already. And so while I can't claim it as like a complete success, I feel like it's still, it's sort of in the medium of, it's in the discourse. So the question of developing in relation to others, other readers, other writers, I think is a very good question. And I was going to follow up with a second question and say, how else could I develop? There was this quote I wanted to read. His name's Jimmy Boggs, and he's known for being a Detroit auto worker and a philosopher who had a long series of letters between Bertrand Russell and himself about what it was like to be an American worker, because Bertrand Russell in England didn't know anything about it. So Boggs was schooling him. And I think that this question of like relation between self and others, he said, it's only in relation to other bodies and many somebodies that anybody is somebody. So I thought that would apply for a lot of things. But for a writer, it's really true as well. But you're working in a community, and if you're alone or if you're not connected to other writers and other readers, it's going to be very hard to make something quality and interesting. I moved to a new town 3 or 4 years ago before living here, and it was in Western North Carolina, and I was looking around for other writer friends, and I think we were trying to start a writers group, kind of a something to do on Sunday afternoon in a kitchen, drink coffee or whatever, and pass around poems and stories. And we were trying to find a way to sort of hook people and get people interested in. And I think I just said to my friend Miriam at the time, like, nobody writes in a vacuum, and that was our sort of soundbite that we liked. I think I was working for a distributing company, like managing their inventory and writing some copy for their all the different products they had, and it was not like reading Emerson and anything like that. So I wanted to sort of supplement my time in the warehouse, I guess. Whether you're reading it, contributing to it, or editing it, you're helping to make something beautiful for the community, which should be a value in itself. You're organizing, which is a skill that's going to transfer to a lot of different kinds of things, especially if you're editing. Like, how are you going to manage all those crazy authors and get them into one issue? So that's good work to do. And I also think it's curating and archiving. So curating, there's a lot of like aesthetic knowledge you need. But the archiving is important, I think, for giving contributors a sense of purpose, but also memory. And so, like when I went back and looked at that old issue, The Awake from 2005, I got like some memories that came back with that, and so that's still valuable to me. It's something that I've been reading in some notes on writing for change, for social or environmental justice. The author that I like, his name is Barry Lopez, and he has a line in which he says that we need to give up the idea of eradicating the enemy. He says we should probably step us around him and create something beautiful instead. Because if we work so hard on reforming and eradicating evil, we'll never have time to really make something good. And so he would rather just start there. And so I think that's how I see a lot of good stories and good pieces of art, but also like good speeches and things like that. Doing that kind of work, helping people remember good places to work from. I think I'd like to come back to that idea of a journal being something that remembers the work and culture of a place. And I think the Laurus definitely does that. And so I think that value you'll see over time. But I think looking back, it will be a very a good thing to take part in. And, you know, it could sort of give someone a sense of where literature is and where they want to take it. Especially being able to see like what everyone is working on individually, and kind of go through that and put that together in an issue or a journal. I think that's an okay answer. I don't know.